No, just go.
I wanna tell you a little something about my family and my friend. We didn't grow up together, but when we met, we just fit. Some people grow up real tight, but we met a little later in life. It's funny how two people can turn out to be true friends. Yeah, be there for me, be there for you. It takes two to make it work. What one can do, be down with the two. My older brother, who's your couple, brought us together. That's how we met. We found out we're so much like each other. That's how we connect. We share the same spiritual walk and similar careers. And through the love of God, our friendships grown throughout the years. I'm a singer by nature and a singer, so are you. Your singing style is old school, while mine is modern groove. When we sing together, the love of God resonates. When our voices unite, the presence of God dominates. Two to agree. What one can see, the other sees clearly. Takes two to touch and agree. To touch and pray for you. My prayer changes things.
All right, and welcome to Shanrae's Indie Artist Panel. Woo! So glad to be here. We're gonna get started. We're here and we are ready to go. As you all come in, please like and share as you come in. Spread the word. We got 60 minutes of power impacted information, and this is an open panel. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, anything like that, feel free, and then we will stop and we will address them. And so, without further ado, we're going to start with our first panelist on today. All right, the first panelist for today, her name is Miss Shay Sam. You gonna say something, Shay? Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Shay Sam. My bills are paid out, and my family's good. Yes, so can you tell them a little bit about you? I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out. I got food on the table. I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. See, I just got promoted to CEO of the Honest and thank God I'm good. All right. You know what? We're gonna move on to that, but we want you to hear a little bit of her music as an artist, Miss Shay Sam. We're gonna play just a little bit of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You are magnificent, great. Your feeling is hate, when we're ignorant grace. So intimate place, your heart of innocence make a life different break. The soul sin and the sinning, could the enemy hate? You are the sun, stars, and the moon. You are the beam of light when it's dark in the room. When I depart from the womb, you're the air that I breathe. Always there when I need you, preparing for peace. You're so good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm.
All right, as y'all can see that she's good. She is good. All right, so this is some of her profile pics as an artist. Shay, can you continue to tell them a little bit more about Beyond the Fence, and then we're going to move on into your presentation?
Yes, ma'am. So Beyond the Fence is all about, now I am not the founder, so we would have to get the founder to talk about it a little bit, but I can tell you from my perspective, we are a group of artists that are very versatile, very diverse. We trend from inspirational hip hop to praise and worship, and neo soul, comedians, actors, film directors, producers. So we are a plethora of just talent. plethora of talent. So we call ourselves a one-stop shop. Whenever someone's looking to do anything in the entertainment world, we always say just reach into Beyond the Fence, and we don't have to reach out to like 5 or 6 different people to make what you do work.
All right, all right. Okay, this is awesome. So we have our marketing specialist here right now, and she is going to introduce the topic that she's going to talk on for the next 10 minutes.
All right, so I'm going to be speaking about branding and promoting, which is one of the essential elements of any business. We're talking about inspirational or independent artistry today, so I'm going to specifically talk about branding and promoting for artists. So branding is very important. You do have to know who you are. It's important for your audience to know who you are because you're selling your audience a product. Whether you know it or not, you are the product. So it's very important for us to know that branding is one of the things that we should automatically know as a default. Your branding is your logo. Some people don't know that. Did you guys know that? Some people didn't know that your logo or anything that you have to show your audience as a part of who you are is important. I give the example all the time about Targets and Walmarts. We know who they are without knowing, they don't have to say who they are.
That's
we just
right.
see their brand and we know that's who they are. Mm-hmm. Beyond the Fence is a brand. So when you put something up, they know our logo. They know that that's Beyond the Fence. So one of the key elements is just to know who you are. Your brand establishes your purpose to your audience.
Okay. All right.
Bullet point number 2, there's a difference between branding and promoting. Branding identifies your purpose. It does. Branding is important. It really identifies your purpose. Not only does it identify who you are, but people should be able to see it. I always say State Farm. They do a little jingle without saying a word.
That's
you
right.
know who they are. And if lights were off, you have blindfolds on. If you heard it, you'll know exactly who it is. So establish that for yourself. It's very important to establish it. That's kind of like business 101, though. I talk to people all day, every day, about starting their businesses up. And it amazes me how many people don't identify with the fact that you need to have a logo to establish who you are. You see those little car decals on the cars that when you drive by, why are they there? Because people want to be identified by their brand. And the next one is promoting visually puts you and your product in front of your audience. So, promoting is essential. We have so many different platforms now where we can promote, like social media. I'm going to use just social media, but so many people promote ineffectively and incorrectly. Right. Just because you put a picture up or just because you put a group of words up does not mean that you are promoting effectively. And then sometimes what happens is you feel, okay, well, I'm pushing my music or I'm pushing my promotions 4 or 5 different times a day. Do you realize that there's a time of day that you should be promoting? Did you realize there are analytics on the back of all social media handles where you can actually look to see who your audience are, who the age ranges of the audience, what city, state, or country they're in? And so without knowing how to identify that, you are sorely not doing yourself a credit, or you're doing yourself a discredit because you're not doing anything properly on the social media site. So promoting visually, it should lead you to, I'm going to say the Bible says you should know by their fruit. It should be able to put you in a fruitful position. You should be able to see the results of that. So what, you might get 34 likes on one. But you know what? You don't know from the insights that you have. There's such thing as insights on the back of the analytics. 483 people might have looked at that. You only see 34 people who viewed it or liked it. That's important. So you might not see it on the front end, but understanding the insights, understanding how to promote visually will help you to really push your business forward. So there's social media, there's magazines, bloggers, radio personalities that will help to push what you're doing. Commercials. I mean, people don't think about investing in commercials for radio. But that's another avenue for you to push. So that's outside of visually, that's audio. But start investing in your promotions visually so people can actually identify with who you are.
I love it. I love it. Those that are watching, the viewing audience, does anybody have any questions right now pertaining to what Shay just talked about as far as marketing yourself, your logo, your branding. Is there anyone that have any questions? Because she's here to answer them during her time frame. Any questions at all? There's something that you said that there's a particular time during the day that is best to brand yourself, to advertise yourself.
Yeah.
Can you expound on that just a little bit more?
Yes, ma'am. It depends on what kind of business you have. So I'm going to say again, we're speaking to independent artists. So music is essential. So we can market our music throughout the course of the day. But if you look at your insights, 9 a.m. is probably one of the better times in the morning to do that. Why? Because people are getting ready for work. People have time to go on social media. They're looking at their social media, but it will give you that time span between 9 and 10. Another time frame would be lunch hour. People are going on lunch and people want to see what's going on. Look at yourself when you're doing social media. When do you go on? Another good time would be around 4 or 5-ish. That's 5 o'clock hour. So people are getting off of work and the first thing they do is look at social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. And then before you go to bed, some people don't know this, but some people try to do it 5, 6, 7, 8. Every hour I'm going to do something. But you know what? It's like at 10 o'clock at night where I'm just chilling out. Right. I should be watching TV. I could be watching my cooking channels, but I am scrolling the internet on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. So people are identifying with who we are around those time frames.
I love it. I love it. You also mentioned something about analytics. And if you're not familiar with the analytics, Shay says something that is very, very, very important. If you notice that when you're posting something, or if you're going live, it may say that your live video reached 290 people. But to go back on reflect on what Shay said, it may, the people that liked it and or whatever, or commented on it, it may say 34, but your live reached 290 people.
Yeah.
That's that underlying, which means that that's successful.
Yeah, that is.
You want to expound on that?
Well, yeah, because the thing is once you identify with your analytics and you understand, I think with any business, you feel more successful when you're able to touch people. That's all we really want to do. You want to be able to touch people. It's unfortunate that you can't get people to like a post. You can't get people to share a post, but people are watching. So in every social handle, there's what you call an insight. And for those of you who don't know where to find that, just scroll to your settings or scroll to someplace on the Instagram or Facebook and just look for the word insight. We scroll past it all the time because we don't realize how beneficial it is to us. When you go into that insight page, it's going to show you your demographics. The demographics will show you who you need to market to. You'll be able to identify the states. You'll be able to identify the countries. When you do that, that's how you set up your promotion. That's exactly how you set that promotion up. So when you do it, understand how important it is, but understanding your audience is going to be key success to your ministry.
I love it. We're going to give a few minutes to see if anyone has any questions. Do you have any questions, viewers? It doesn't matter how big the question, how small you may think it is. There's no big, there's no small. But if there's any questions, and as I stated yesterday on my live, when I was inviting you in, even if we may not have the answer for you right now, we will research it and we will get back to you with it. So I'm looking on my page. We're all looking on our separate pages to see are there any questions. And listen, even towards the end of after each person speaks, if you have a question, we're going to take out time to expound on whatever question that you have. So Shay Sam's, her time is almost up, but this was a plethora of wealth of knowledge that she just shared. And again, each of us have 10 minutes. But in 10 minutes, if you get a chance to look back on this video, so you can, revisit every topic that was talked about or expounded on this evening. And if you can start, if you're not already doing it, because I don't want to assume that you're not.
Yeah.
But if you choose to use it towards, you going, getting closer to your goal as an indie artist or whatever. Yeah. And here we go. Excuse me. But whatever information that you're getting on this evening, Our goal is that it gets you closer to becoming the mainstream artist in whatever field you're going into, whatever field that it draws you closer to your goal. So, Miss Jason, do you want to say anything else before your time is up?
No, you can. If you want more information, definitely make sure that you reach into Shanrae, because that's going to be that's going to be beneficial to you guys. Always connect with us, www.beyondthefence.org. It's right there on the promo, but www.beyondthefence.org to answer any questions. And we also, like you said, are artists and media specialists, so we'll be able to help you get to that next level if you are interested in furthering getting more knowledge or information.
Thank you so much, Shay, for you giving of yourself, your a wealth of knowledge on this evening. Thank you again. If you all have any questions concerning each topic that we're doing, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. We are watching and we're here to answer them for you. And so, without further ado, we are going to move on to our next panelist on this evening, Mr. Dupree Owens.
Yeah!
He scared me. Let me tell you something. When you can cheer your own self on, oh my God. So this is you want to tell them about what's playing?
All right, so what's playing right now?
Jesus died for me. I still believe that he rose from the dead for me. I still believe that he's coming back again for me. I still believe, I still believe, I still believe. Yeah, I still believe, I still believe, I still believe, I still believe, I still believe.
All right, so that track was playing because at the end, I did like a little rhyme, but I couldn't get to it. But yeah, so my name is Dupree Owens. I am a musician. I am a writer. I am a producer. I wear many hats, what I do. People started calling me the one-man bandit. There's a reason why, and I'm going to explain towards the end. But I'm here to talk about being self-sufficient in what you do as far as the music game, being self-sufficient. And I'm going to explain the artists that I've worked with. A lot of artists that I've worked with and collaborated with, Arthur Robert Rowland, Earl White. I've worked with Aaron, Billy Valentine. I've worked with Angel Starr. I've worked with my wife, Shanrae Price. Yay! I've done a lot of things. I'm working with EC Frost right now. We're putting out a project together. So I'm doing different things and, basically just being self-sufficient. So I'm going to explain, I'm going to make 3 points. I'm going to explain the definition of self-sufficient. I'm going to give an example of it. I'm going to tell y'all why to be self-sufficient in what you're doing. So the definition of being self-sufficient, according to the Webster Dictionary, definition of being self-sufficient is able to maintain oneself or itself without outside aid. Capable of providing for one's own needs, meaning having the ability and the resources to take care of yourself without any help. So basically, being self-sufficient is pretty much doing stuff on your own, without any help on outside sources, without anybody having to help you. Like, let me give you an example. Let me go to my examples right quick. Just a little bit, about a month ago, we decided to, instead of going out, buying our own tomatoes, we actually started growing our own tomatoes. So they are fresher, but it takes a little work. But we chose to be self-sufficient in trying to grow our own tomatoes because we just, sometimes I want a tomato right here. I don't feel like going to the store. I can go outside, just grab my own tomato. That's dope. So, or you can even create ways like, I got laid off one year, and what I did was, instead of sitting back and waiting for my unemployment to hit, right, I created ways to make cash to get stuff going so we wouldn't go lacking, rather than waiting for, that's being self-sufficient. Another example is, like you got a parent that does everything for you. Sometimes that ain't good. You know what I'm saying? They do everything for your child, and then they start doing it. They still doing it when you're a teenager. Then they still doing it when you're an adult. Then when you get time to get on your own, then you're all messed up because you were never self-sufficient from the get-go. They didn't teach you to be self-sufficient. So those are good examples that I use to be self-sufficient. And I'm going to tell y'all why you need to be self-sufficient. Let me give you an example. I chose, let me see, we were doing a song called, it's up there right now actually, Seasons. We was working on a song called Seasons with my boy Earl White, working on that song, right? So I was like, okay, it's a Christmas song. Okay, we're going to put it out there because it's a Christmas song. Everybody knows during Christmas time, it's kind of iffy. A lot of people support it, but some people don't because it's Christmas time. Everybody out buying gifts, stuff like that. So Christmas songs like, okay, you're really putting them out just to promote yourself and putting them out there. Sometimes you lose money. So you're putting it out there, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, if I hire somebody to do my video for me, that's going to cost me. So let me take that money and put it somewhere else. Maybe I could do my own video, So I got the tools to do my own video. We went out, bought a camera, bought a good enough camera to do one. I'm not an expert. So what I did was I hopped on YouTube and tried to learn what program I could use to make my own video. I forgot what the program it was, but anyway, it was a good program, free. I didn't pay for it. It was free, and I was able to do my own video. I thought about it, okay, where can I go without permission to maybe shoot a video? We went by the railroad track, something like that. So I just thought about something that we could do, maybe shoot this video and do it myself without having to pay someone. Okay, so now if you're looking now, you see the album cover. Who do you think took that picture? So I went and researched I looked on YouTube, how to take pictures. I called a friend of mine that take pictures. One of my best friends, this is what he do. So I called him, like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take a picture, what things I need to look for, Instead of getting somebody, I could save that money. I could save that money and save time. So if you do stuff yourself, you can save money, save time. And how you do stuff yourself, you just research. You research what to do and how to do it. You do it yourself. Now, I'm not an expert on my video, but if you look I wish I had the video to pull it up a little bit. But if you haven't, one thing I don't like about the videos, I had to do it in the dark and I didn't know how to get lighting and stuff. Like, I didn't know how to do it. But if you look at the video, it's like, okay, I understand why he did that. So you can see, because there's Christmas lights in the video. So you can see the Christmas lights. So a lot of stuff I didn't do perfect, but I did it. So now going to my name, they started calling me the one-man bandit because I learned my craft. I learned as a musician to not only to play, I started out playing drums, but I was like, okay, this can't be it. This can't be, I can do something else. So then, okay, my dad plays guitar and bass. Let me learn how to play the bass. So and I can use it later on. So I learned how to play the bass. Got with my wife. I started playing keyboard later on. So I got my wife. I got tired of going to programs and nobody knew how to play bass. So I learned how to play bass. And then from there, I just learned. I just started taking it. And after a while, I got better at my craft. And so now, when I do my music, I'm self-sufficient because I really don't have to go out and hire a bass player unless I just want another sound. I don't have to go out and hire another keyboardist unless I just want a different type of sound. I don't have to have, if you listen to No Boundaries, I did everything myself except the guitar. I played the drums myself, I played the bass myself, I played the keys myself. Arthur Robin Rowland added the guitars and the horn parts. So I had to outsource on that. But that's something I just couldn't do. But everything else, I pretty much did myself. So talking about being self-sufficient, you start from the beginning. Start by doing your research. You will save time. You will save money. You can do it. Number one thing, you have to totally believe in your craft. You have to believe in what you're doing. Sometimes, a lot of artists, we're independent. Independent artists have to do their own thing. We don't have the backing to do certain things. So if you're spending out your money, if you got the money to do it, that's cool. And if you got to do certain things, you got to do them. You know, like we just did a video for I Tried to do a video for, we had to outsource. I was going to do it because I know my limitations. So, but I used my money elsewhere. Where I saved money was I did most of the stuff myself. And there's something that counted, which we needed that video to be dope. I had to outsource it because certain things we want to do. So you have to do certain things yourself. I can use another example. My wife got a lot of platforms. A lot. Even this one, she's starting right now. I'm sorry. Even this one we're starting right now, she got a lot of platforms, right? So we're learning how to be self-sufficient. Learning how to hook up the computer. Learning how to get the thing to work. Learning how to join two programs at the same time. You know, learning. I just had an audio problem right before this thing started. I went on YouTube right quick, like, what am I doing wrong? It couldn't tell me. So I kept digging, kept kicking, and all of a sudden the audio picked up. As y'all can see, I'm still tinkling with it, trying to get it to work. But it don't matter because we're being self-sufficient. So in my conclusion, if you want to help yourself out in the long run, just help yourself out. It's okay to dig into yourself. I see people making videos, and sometimes people overdo it. They're making videos and they really shouldn't be making. Sometimes it can hurt you if you don't really know what you're doing. But if you're being self-sufficient, then you're being self-sufficient. You doing it. You 100% in your game. You 100% about your craft. So I can't knock you for that. If you making videos and they don't look great, but you still promoting yourself. You're trying to be self-sufficient. You're trying to, because you might can't afford somebody to make the video for you. So you're gonna make it happen. You might can't afford. There's programs, there's apps out there. Shay probably know that. Notice there's apps. You probably know this. There's apps out there you can use to record yourself. It's like a studio.
Yeah.
If you got an iPhone, you got GarageBand on your iPhone. So you can use that to record.
That's right.
That's what I show a lot of our artists to use, because during this COVID, I couldn't bring nobody here to record.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was like, I was like, oh, okay, you got an iPhone, get GarageBand, download it, make sure you're in just a decent room and record yourself singing and send it to me. That's what I do. You send it to me, I'm gonna make it sound good. Trust me, I'm gonna make it sound good. You know, so that's being self-sufficient. So in my conclusion, be self-sufficient. You can save money, save time, and you know you're going to be 100% into your craft. And if anybody got any questions on how to do it, where to do it, I told you, YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube, you got everything. If they don't have it, think about something and try to dig it up yourself. Try to research and dig it up yourself. That's all I do. Everything you see I'm doing on my music and stuff like that, everything you see Shanrae doing, she digging it up herself. She looking on YouTube, trying to dig it up. Everything Shay doing, she digging it up herself. Everything David doing, digging it up themselves, trying to be self-sufficient. One-man band.
All right. So does anyone who's watching, do y'all have any questions geared towards Dupree before we move forward?
Y'all better have some questions for me.
I know. And thank you, because he really did give you a plethora of information and wisdom right now. And I know it actually may sound a little easier said than done. When he says to research everything, a lot of times researching something, you have to continue to dig to get exactly what you need for you. Because there is so much information out there, and so you have to just continue. It takes work researching. It takes work. It takes time. But I'm telling you, you as your own entrepreneur, you as your own artist, whichever area you in, it is worth it. Take out that time, because when you're working somebody else's job, I'm a retired teacher, and I'm a counselor as well. When you work for somebody else, you got to give them that time in order for you to get paid. Well, you have to think of it the same way as you being your own, because you are your business, and you're being your own entrepreneur. You have to dedicate some time throughout the day to you and to your craft, whichever way, whether you are a producer, you're indie radio, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a comedian, it does not matter. You have to, and researching is education. You are self-educating yourself, and I am so grateful for Google and YouTube and all these other tools, because we're getting educated on the low low. A lot of times for free on the low low. So we go on and take advantage of it. And this has been awesome. Does anybody have any questions at all concerning this last topic? What Dupree talked about, being self-sufficient. And even if you think of something a little bit later on, please drop it in the comments, because we will come back and we will answer it to the best of our knowledge right now. Again, if there is anything that we don't know for sure, we will research it and we will get the answer to you, because that's what this here platform is about. It's about educating all of the indies and us working towards getting to our goal. So without further ado, we're going to move on to our next artist, and we're going to let you hear a little bit of his music. I love this song right here. Mr. David Benton. We want you to hear his music.
I want to fly so high.
First thing a king will do. That's why I'm focused on the king and the queen of you. Before you make a move, think it through. Too much blood on the hand, and we know who to link it to. The thing to do is wake up, see the truth. When they see loving you, that's when they see the proof. How you believe in God? You don't believe in you. The tree of life inside of you, let them see the fruits.
The fruits of your seeds is to achieve. All you need to do is you be true and believe. And the one that put air in your lungs to breathe, he'll fight for you and me like Rocky and Creed. And the blessings you receive won't come from true breeze. You just need to stay open. Yep, Jermaine Copeland. But on that same token, these words that I spoken of to make you fly high and mine.
Gotta hit this again.
I want to fly so high.
I love it. Mr. David Benton, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Howdy. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, so I had to say it like they say the country. But yeah, I'm David Benton. I'm the founder of Beyond the Fence. And I'm, it's about more than music. Even though, I might say, well, the rapper, I don't really call myself a rapper. That's just the gift. But more as an artist thing, because when you're an artist, it's like you have different, it puts you more broad. Because whether it's music, whether it's poetry, whether it's painting, artistry is just a great body of work. So that's really why I want to talk about that too.
the more than music thing. But yes, I am David Benton. I do rap. I'm a radio host as well. On Beyond the Radio. And I'm crunk. Yeah, I'm also crunk.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to start with more than music. Me as an artist myself, a lot of artists, especially independent artists, they reach out, and I've had artists that I did 13 years in federal prison. That's what beyond the fence means. Because I was behind the fence, now I'm beyond it.
Okay.
And we all got fences we're trying to go beyond.
Mm-hmm.
David's fence was Goliath.
Right. That's right.
Some people's fence may be drug addiction, alcoholism, but we all got fences we're trying to go beyond.
That's right.
Right? So now I'm beyond the fence. Because we all got fences that we in prison in our minds.
That's right.
So now when you go beyond that fence, that's when you become really more than a conqueror. Now, with that being said, me going beyond the fence means I had to have a vision. The vision didn't have nothing to do with music. It had something more to do with my identity. Because I had to realize that it's more than music. Before we start talking about marketing, branding, you personally, spiritually and mentally got to know who you are.
That's right.
You got to go beyond saying, because people have a bad habit of saying, okay, take my music, listen to it, and everybody, let's be real. All us independent artists, we all believe our song is the next big hit.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I get emails, calls, texts, from Messenger, people I don't know at all. They'll troll my inbox, they'll troll my page, they'll troll my mail, my Gmail account, and that's the first thing they'll do. They say, man, listen to this, because you never heard nothing like this before. And the only thing I can say is, well, you haven't heard nothing like that before. Because when you're in the industry and you really start doing your homework, you will realize that it's a plethora of artists who does the same thing. They're branded just about the same way. We had a young lady that was in Memphis, Tennessee. Awesome soul, beautiful singer, teacher, teach music. She teaches, understand, we're more than music. She teaches music for a living. The system paid her. She went to college, graduated, to do music. She was about to be an artist on Beyond the Fence, but what happened, the way she wanted to brand was 100% like another artist in Florida. And we had to tell her, they talk alike, they almost sing alike, their message is alike.
Their name was alike.
Their name was alike.
It was the same name.
It was the same name for real. She's snitching.
Oh, wow.
She just straight snitching. She just snitched on. Look, I ain't saying no names. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
But that's how far research needs to go.
That's how far researching needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bling, Beyond the Fence in the building. Shanrae Price in the building. But that's what we have to understand. So when you come in and you say, like, all right, we're more than music, you have to understand that the first, if all you think about is my next song, then you're going to be mixed up with all the other artists who's saying, well, this is my next song. And especially as a rapper. Especially as a rapper. There's like 2 trillion rappers and everybody think they're good. So if you sitting up here saying, okay, my song's the next hot song, this person say, my song's the next hot song, and this person and the other million people say their song's the next hot song, then you're not really being separated. You're not separating yourself. You're just in the pot. And you're just being mixed in with everybody else because you really think that, okay, once I make this song, then I'm going to just throw it in the pot and hopefully it'll go viral.
Right.
And then you mad at, especially independent artists, because this is what we're talking about, right? Independent artists, listen, I have friends who wonder how I make it to certain platforms. After 13 years in federal prison, I came home 5 years ago, and I started out as a man first. I started out focusing on family first. I had to set a foundation for David Benton first.
That's right.
And once I found out, how I could set a foundation for myself, then I realized that the artistry would make more sense. Because when you speak, when you rap or sing, it got to be according to your lifestyle versus just trying to make money.
That's right.
Off of it. Because a lot of us, we take our old hustle and try to make it a new hustle, and we just hustling and bustling everywhere. We trying to do this and we trying to do that, and we don't stay consistent as artists. So us as independent artists, you got to concentrate on who you are individually before the music. People expect you to be your lyrics because the reality is when you brand yourself or you have someone branded for you, once they put that market out there, they expect that from you.
That's right.
So I'm gonna talk about gangster rap. We know that they're not gangsters, but it's entertaining to people, the negativity. So the people, so these young men and these young women, they really don't understand their identity. They have an identity crisis. So they put this music out there, but then tragically, they don't understand why they're not really growing. And it's because they're not confident in themselves. They're just trying to do what they see the mainstream doing. They're not taking responsibility of who they are as a brand because they're focused on, okay, I'm gonna make this hot song once again. All right. My next point. The artists, they should value their audience. They should add value to the audience. You see, all this new for me right now. Because I'm reading, but I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is new for me.
Right.
But at the same time, this came from my growth as well. But I'm confident in myself because at the end of the day, you guys are watching me here. So I'm honest enough to say, all right, I'm reading this. The artist should add value to their audience. The reason you should add value to your audience is because when you come out with your music, people should know you without your music. People should know you without your music.
That's right.
If you notice, like somebody like 50 Cent. 50 Cent was rapping a long time. He got shot 9 times. Tragic. It's terrible. But we're nosy as people.
Yeah.
He lived to tell the story, so us as an audience, like, well, what is he talking about? That didn't have nothing to do with music. We were just being nosy, trying to say, okay, he stayed alive.
That's right.
He with Dr. Dre, he with Eminem. Let's see what he has to say.
Right.
Well, he has sold over 10 million copies. I don't know. So us as independent, we looking at them. That's the thing we need to look at as far as branding yourself and knowing your identity and saying, okay, like myself, David Benton, right? If you listen to my project, it's called Boys to Men. My cover have the American flag, but I have the power fist going through it, right? The power fist is going through it. It represents something more than music.
Keep talking.
Every morning around 8, 9 o'clock, I always give an encouraging word to say, go be great. And I do this. The reason I tell people to encourage people to go be great, because that's really who I am as a person who did 13 years in federal prison. So when I say go be great, I mean that literally. It don't have nothing to do with music. It has something to do with my heart.
That's right.
So I'm really trying to pour into the audience. So independent artists, you have to pour into your audience. You got to know your audience. You got to have a target audience. and say, okay, I'm going to stick to the script. I'm not 50 Cent. I'm not none of those guys, but I am David Benton, and I care for people. So when people started gravitating towards me as David Benton, then that's when the radio show opened up, Beyond the Radio. Mm-hmm. That's when other connections started coming. Like right now, I'm sweating because I'm not nervous. I'm passionate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I play sports back in the days. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all on the line, I used to whoop y'all out too. Y'all know that. Yeah. But this just comes from straight passion, and people want the realness. And when they see your passion for them, instead of saying just listen to this and walk off, they gotta have something to hold on to, and they follow you, not just your music.
Yes, they do.
So that's it. I mean, did I go over too much?
It's okay. Keep going.
Because I definitely get long-winded. All right. So also, an artist should be able to bring in other streams of income, like merchandise. Last night, we have a clothing line called Better You Clothing, and like last night, we did songs, but we had to let people know that the songs wasn't as important as all of us together. Right. The union, the celebration of why we even here together, to set a foundation as a family.
Right.
Once people seen that and seen who we were as people, they started purchasing the merchandise according to our character. Mm-hmm. And what we have, our clothing line is called Better You. We tell people to go be great. She tell people to walk out their purpose.
Right.
So we want people to be a better version of themselves every day. And when people start saying, oh man, they really are those type of people, guess what they do? Mm-hmm. Man, I just want to support what you're doing. Yeah. I just like what you're standing for. I never knew me coming out my pocket to feed the homeless. I put it on Facebook because we needed donations. I can't afford to take care of the world.
Right.
But we as a family can. So me just giving contributions on Facebook to people, because I care, people started pouring in to us. You know, so whether it's your shirts, you got to understand you have to sell yourself. Mm-hmm. You are the brand. Like if you go to the store and you have Coca-Cola on the shelf, that's you. You're the Coke. Mm-hmm. How are you going to sell that product and nobody never tastes it? Mm-hmm. You gotta have a good logo. Mm-hmm. you gotta have good commercials. Mm-hmm. So all these things will bring strands of income. We do radio, and it's not even about the rap. We do radio, and it shows that we're prolific speakers. Mm-hmm. With that productivity of speaking, well, it led people like Shay Samuels to be on red carpets.
Right.
And they paid her.
Oh, yeah.
They paid her more than me. Mm-hmm. And I'm the CEO Beyond the Fence first. Yeah. I got emotional. Don't do that. Don't be as emotional as I just did. But I'm saying, your merchandise, the way the strands of income used, if you notice Snoop Dogg, he came in as a rapper. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
Yeah.
Snoop, Afro, had braids. Mm-hmm. But guess what he doing now?
Martha Stewart.
Cooking. Lil Wayne got a little podcast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more than music.
Yes.
They use the industry. You got to use the industry for what it's worth. Yeah. Use different strands of the industry and know how to work it.
That's right.
So that's really all I have to say.
Can you and I thank you so much, David. This is the first time we've met in person. And it's just been a pleasure just having you on this first panel here. And what he's can you please let the audience know how many units did you sell when you came out of prison of your music?
10,000.
Say it again.
I said 10,000.
Say it one more time for the Holy Ghost. 10,000. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient.
He came out behind the fence, coming beyond the fence with his music is why we're doing this panel, because it is possible. It is possible. Once you work yourself, you work your brand, like everyone is saying here, with everything in it. When you market yourself, and don't count out the small things. Please do not do that, like the Bible says. Don't despise the small beginnings. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't, because everything that you do counts, and it adds up. And when I said, when you blink and you look and you find out, oh my gosh, I have 20,000 views on YouTube with my music. I have so many listens or whatever on Spotify. And then if you listen, add your years up. Add them up with your music. Okay, in 3 years, 5,000 people, and this is realistic as an indie artist, but in 3 years, 5,000 people bought your single. That is a win. Yes. Everything we're doing is a win. And this is why we're having this panel, because it is possible. Yes. It is possible. Don't give up. If this is you know if you're called to do this, if this is what you're supposed to do, whether it's on a gospel level or a secular level. And I'm getting ready to move into my topic. But listen, my walk with Christ, it is what I am, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and I'm still pressing on. And I'm not perfect, but I'm pressing to be perfect. But I'm pure. Yeah. But if y'all notice, I'm not giving up my calling, but I'm transitioning a little bit, because the Lord is the one that led me to put out this new single, this life song called I Try. Yes, it is being labeled R&B, something totally different from my album. My album is gospel. Long time coming is gospel, although it's a variety of all types of music. But this single, I Try, is R&B soul. It's R&B soul. The message is pure. The message is clean. It's pure. And however you're led to do this, to get your message across as you're growing and you're branding yourself and you're working towards becoming mainstream artistry, listen, don't count out the small things. Please don't. Wherever you go, I don't care if it's 2 people sitting in the audience. You don't know who those 2 people are. You don't know who they impact. You don't know their pull that they have. Give it your all wherever. I don't care if it's 2 people or if it's 2 million people. And y'all, a lot of y'all know my story. I'm getting ready to move into me. This next artist here on the panel, her name is Shanrae Price. Shanrae Price has been in the music industry professionally for the last 30 years. I've worked with several mainstream artists such as Mariah Carey, Luther Vandross, P. Diddy, and the list goes on. But I have been singing and an artist my entire life, almost 50 years. Singing for audiences large, small, and indifferent. It does not matter. And I, at one point in my life, said that I was not going to do it because I felt like, me being a plus-size woman, not what the people are looking for. Hey, big up to Lizzo. But before Lizzo, maybe I should, I'm going to say Lizzo because she does her. But before her, we had Martha Wash. We had the Weather Girls. We had all kinds of big madams that represented in the industry before Lizzo, including my sister Kelly Price. And even before Lizzo, I always tell people that know me and my family, the first Lizzo really and truly was my baby sister, Sakina Price. That was her. That's how she sang, and she wore things as a plus-size woman. So there's nothing new up under the sun. It's just specific time for things to come out. So let me move it along. I think I need you to do this for me. Thank you. Okay, so my topic on today is what is my topic? I'm sorry. I've been doing so much, y'all. But my topic for today is preparing artist preparatory. Preparing yourself. We gotta move it on down. Yeah, we're gonna move it on down. I'm sorry. That's me. Doree Music.
There we go.
Doree Music, he's the CEO and I'm the co-CEO of Doree Music. We work together and we're going to move on to, here we go, artist preparation. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. And the reason why this is a passion of mine, well, artist preparation, because I've been blessed to work mainstream, in the gospel field, independent. So I have a plethora of experience with artist preparation. And even with all of that, things have changed down through the years. When I was on the mainstream working with all these main artists, PD and stuff, they were signed artists, but their budgets were crazy back then. They're not giving signed artists budgets like that anymore. And if they are, then you gonna be working for them until they get everything they want back and then some. Okay, what is the 360? That 360 deal? Trust me, you are a slave.
Yeah.
You are a slave. But back then, they gave artists huge budgets for everything, for their concerts. They gave them everything, for wardrobe, everything. So I'm going to move it along. Artist preparation. Number one, my first key point says, so you're an artist now. So what is your targeted demographic? And I'm piggybacking a little bit off of what Shay had talked about a little bit earlier, because every artist should have a targeted demographic. So let me ask a couple of questions. So are you a gospel artist, such as Tasha Cobbs? Are you a country western singer, such as Candy Staten, Mickey Guyton? Look her up, Mickey Guyton, or Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. Are you a rock singer like Jimi Hendrix, Prince, or Lenny Kravitz? Are you a house techno singer? CNC Music Factory, Frankie Knuckles, CeCe Peniston, Robin S., Crystal Waters, la-da-dee-da-da. That's my girl right there. Okay. Are you a theatrical singer? Morgan Freeman, the actor, started out like that, singing the theater. Lady Gaga started out in the theater. And Joe Jonas from the Jonas Brothers started out a theater singer. Are you a commercial, advertisement, or jingle artist? That's how Luther Vandross started out. I know that personally because, again, I had the pleasure of working with him and then sitting down with Mr. Tommy Mottola, who used to be over Sony Music, and he's the one that introduced that to myself and my sister. He said that Luther started out as a jingle singer. He told us that Luther was rich before he ever became Luther Vandross because he was a jingles artist. Okay, so don't frown your nose on being a jingle singer. Let me tell you, I used to there's a theater, it's a movie theater in New York called Lowe's Theaters. My sister Kelly and I, we used to do jingles for that. So when you come into the movie theater and you hear singing, that was me and my sister. So that's an idea, y'all. We said commercials and advertising. Are you a studio or recording singer like Esther Dean? A lot of y'all, if y'all don't recognize who Esther Dean is, Esther Dean, she's from the TV sitcom Songland. And Esther Dean has written and recorded backgrounds for Nicki Minaj and all kinds of artists. And that's why she's on Songland, because of her, underground notoriety. Are you a comedic vocalist like Jamie Foxx, like Jack Black, like Seth MacFarlane? They are comedians, but they can still sing. That's how Jamie Foxx really got started on In Living Color. Him singing and playing and cutting up, and it even moved over into his movies and stuff like that. Let's move to the next picture so they can see what I'm talking about. Or are you a local sensation, or like an events artist? Are you known for singing at funerals, weddings, parties? Don't frown your nose on that. Let me tell you, you can make a lucrative living by doing that. My earrings want to come off, so I'm gonna pop them off anyway. Okay. All right, but we have a local group here in Atlanta called Grits and Jelly Butter. Look them up.
Dope.
They are so dope. But they're local sensations. Now, they moving into mainstream, but when I say they're in high demand, they are like in high demand. They are awesome. Are you an underground singing sensation like Anderson .Paak started out? Like Common, like BJ the Chicago Kid? These are some great talents. And Anderson .Paak tells people he never wanted to be a mainstream artist. He loved just being an underground artist, but because he was so popular until he was like forced into the mainstream. And then our mainstream artists, again, like I'm going to go back to Tasha Cobbs. Who don't know her? Tasha Cobbs. Who don't know Kirk Franklin? Who don't know Beyonce, Janet Jackson, and Bruno Mars, people like that, Cardi B, these different mainstream artists. So you have to know. I'm going to ask the question, I'll say it again. So you're an artist now, right? So what is your targeted demographic? Shay mentioned earlier, when you look at your linguistics, you look at your analytics, look and see the targeted people that are following you. What is their age group? And don't count yourself out saying that, no, look at that, because that's something to build on. You know, what is your targeted demographic? My second key point is, are you really ready for your desired outcome? And I have to ask that question again. Go back to the question. Are you really ready for your desired outcome? We're going to leave it right here for a minute. Listen, and it's okay if you get into a place. I'm going to start this way and then work my way back. It's okay if you start really becoming popular. And then you start realizing, I don't think I really want to do this. Not this. You might find yourself more comfortable being in a different setting in music, like maybe marketing people, being an indie A&R, like you pushing people. Like I call myself a philanthropist of indie artists, because a philanthropist, everything is not about money. It's about giving up your services, your platform, your knowledge, your wisdom. This is philanthropy, you know. So again, are you really ready for what you think is your desired outcome? And it's okay to change. It's okay to change your mind. It really is. I'm going to give a quick example. I was on tour years ago with Mariah Carey. It was a big tour, Luther Vandross, all of us. And Oleta Adams was on this tour with us. And she had the same background as we do. She is a church baby. Her father and her mother were pastors. And so we were back doing our sound checks. And she was up on the stage and she was playing her song. I don't care how you get there. Just get there if you can. That song is so beautiful. So she was playing and singing, and then she went into singing a hymn. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. And so she started singing and singing that to herself and playing. Oh my God, she was anointed. And my sister and I came out, and we listened to her, and we started harmonizing and singing with her. And she looked at us and she said, "Y'all are babies. How you know this music?" And we said, "Listen, our grandfather's a bishop. My mom and my grandmother is an evangelist. My mom is an evangelist. All we know is the church and hymns and stuff like that." So when she finished singing, she looked at my sister and she said, "I want to share something with you all," because it dropped in her spirit to do that. She said, "What you're chasing now," she said, "it may not be what you want later on." She said, "I'm sitting here now as Oleta Adams. That's who I am." Mm-hmm. She said, "I always wanted to be on this platform." And she said, "I'm here now." And she said, "I really wish that I was back doing what I was doing in the church and doing things on a local level." And she said she did not realize that being on that type of platform came with such a high cost. And she just, and when she said that, she said, "I'm not trying to discourage you." She said, "I just want you to know the reality of this. With you coming and you wanting this, know that it comes with certain costs." And she said, "I'm here and I'm grateful for being here." She said, "But I realize now it was okay with me doing what I was doing before and being where I was." And she said that, she was considering, at the time, whether she should kind of just slow it down or not. And I believe she did, just like Anita Baker slowed it down to raise her family and stuff like that. She's still Anita Baker. She can still sing. Her music is still great. But the question again is, are you really ready for your desired outcome? So whichever area of entertainment that you're going to pursue, being ready and flexible is always a plus. Being willing to grow and learn in this area that you're pursuing is always a step in the right direction. Most of the time, people make premature decisions due to their lack of experience or their lack of knowledge. And it does help when people tell you about their experiences in these desired areas. But the best way to really know about an avenue is research. again, what we've all been talking about. Research. Just like we read reviews on places and products that we're interested in going or purchasing, the same goes for your opportunities and the avenues that you're exposed to. So don't let your fear or your closed-minded attitude stop you from moving into a place that you always desire to be. Okay? Don't be. And let me tell you something. Growing up in Church of God in Christ. Growing up in Church of God in Christ, you can't join in. You got to be born in. This is the Church of God in Christ, okay? It's really easy to be closed-minded coming from a strong Pentecostal background. But if I was closed-minded, I would not have been able to travel the places I traveled, work with the people I work with, and even learn how to respect their views. Mm-hmm. Their views are not necessarily my views. Their lifestyle is not necessarily my lifestyle. But if you can show some respect, if you can understand, just open up your understanding a little bit. And I'm not talking about you compromising, because here we go. Don't ever compromise your convictions. Don't ever do that, because you're going to have to live with that now. Don't do that. But again, we can respect other people's the way they live. There are people, I'm a Christian believer. There are people that are Satan worshipers. Listen, that's what we all want people to be saved, but if that is what they're willing to do, as long as they're not imposing it on me, mm-hmm. all I can do is let my light shine and my walk like that. I'm not imposing anything on anybody, but I'm going to let the light of God shine in me, and I'm going to continue to walk my journey, and then let God do the rest. So there is a difference between being flexible and compromising your convictions. Don't ever compromise your convictions to be in a place that you feel like you want to be in. Most of the time when people compromise their beliefs, they almost always live in a regret and cannot enjoy their celebrity. Yeah. I'm going to say that again. Most of the time when people compromise their beliefs, they almost always live in regret and cannot enjoy their celebrity. Example, Kanye West is on a different path now, right? And he gives his open testimony. He talks about how when he's still on top of his game, but when he was really, really out there, mm-hmm. he said he had everything at his access, and he indulged in everything too. But y'all see what happened. He had no peace of mind. Mm-hmm. He about lost his mind. Yeah. And guess what? You can have all the money in the world. Money don't buy good health. Yeah. It don't buy peace of mind. And it don't buy you your salvation. Yeah. It don't buy you a seat in heaven. Yeah. Okay? So whatever you do not compromise your convictions on your road to mainstream artistry. Don't do that. Okay? I grew up with this saying. And I say it all the time. I taught my children this. And everybody else that's come in my path, when it's I feel led to say it, I say it, and I'm going to say it now. It says, I have to live with myself and the things that I've done, and I don't want to come to the setting sun and hate myself for the things that I've done. Mm-hmm. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And I can tell you, as an artist, I have worked in the industry with mainstream artists that are still out there today. Everything was offered to me while I was on the road and married and having my children, and my husband knows this. While I was traveling and touring, I've had these major people offer men to me, women to me, drugs to me.
What?
I'm telling you. Yes, they will, because their whole thing is give you what you want, just so you can do what you need to do, so you can keep making their money. Mm-hmm. So I've had all kinds of things offered to me, just dangled in my face. And if I did not know who I was, I would have fell for it every single time. But it's important, like David Benton said, it's important to know who you are first because you are your brand. I remember watching people get major record deals with Sony years ago, be put in major positions in Sony, and then lose it because of them, their character, their character, their personality. Killed their opportunity. Just killed their opportunity because, and you know, they were talented. They were talented, but their character killed them. And what was handed to them and the opportunity that was given to them, they lost it because of them just, you know, you falling for everything and you not standing on whatever you know is right to do. Stand on it. So remember, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Just improve what needs to be improved and then go for it again. So because everything is a learning lesson, like Dupree mentioned with him doing our seasons video, he didn't know everything. He wished that he could change some things about the first time. But if at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay, there's no time frame from when your dream becomes a reality. I'm gonna say that again. There's really no time frame from when your dream becomes a reality. So remember this old saying: nothing is worth having if it isn't worth fighting for it. Age is just a number, so getting older is never a hindrance. We get better as we get older. So again, age is a plus. Experience come with age. Experience, you know that song, experience is a good teacher. It really is. So that old saying, if I knew back then what I know now. Okay, but with this experience, now you can take it. You can apply it to your life or to your career. Apply it and then go and grow from there. So when opportunity does come your way, again, don't be afraid to take that opportunity. If it doesn't come the way that you thought it would, I'm telling you, still walk into those doors. And I'm going to give that example again about Esther Dean, who was on the show, what is it? Oh, hold on, let me look at my notes. Songland. I'm quite sure Esther Dean, because that girl can sing anybody up under the table. And she could write, oh my gosh. But I get it didn't come right now the way she thought as being a mainstream artist. But look at what she's sitting on a panel like this on a TV sitcom Songland, sitting there helping other fellow indie artists, writers, producers. So her opportunity came a different way, but she still walked into it. And I'm telling y'all to do the same thing. Indie artists, indie musicians, indie producers, indie radio hosts. Listen, don't shut stuff down because it's not the way that you thought it was going to come. Where there's a will, there's a way. Jamie Foxx, he started out in comedy. He can sing, he can play, he can write. But it took those doors of him being funny, because we are multifaceted. It took those doors right there for him to open up so he now can be known as a mainstream artist as well. But he's still acting, he's still funny, and he's still singing and playing and producing and all of that. So are there any questions? Sheila said, research #keyword. Sheila said, great wisdom. Jose is watching. Does anybody have any questions for any of us before we log off? Our next indie artist panel will be 2 months from now. It is going to be in October. It's going to be a whole different topic, but the next one will be in October. Does anybody have any question? We're going to give it a few minutes. And even if you don't think of something right now, if you put it in any of our feeds and we go back and look at it later on again, we will do our best to answer and give you resources to answer your questions. But this indie artist panel was strictly for us indies, whichever indie area you are. Our goal and our heart's desire is that this will help you get closer to your mainstream platform. And you being, again, the best artist indie that you are in whatever area that you are moving into. We have a rap artist here, who Mr. David Victor. He's a rap artist amongst other things. He wears different hats. We have a vocalist here. Shay's vocals are beautiful. She has that soft, beautiful type of genre, type of voice, and she's also multifaceted. We have a producer here and all kinds of other things, musician, producer right here, but he's still indie and he's doing his thing and he's making it work. And then I'm a teacher, I'm a counselor, I'm an artist, I'm a philanthropist. I'm an indie artist platform maker and doer. But with all of this being said, we're still moving and we're working towards our mainstream desired goals. And it's going to happen not only for us, but for you all too. Okay, Sheila said everyone on the panel gave great info. Thank you for the extra doses of wisdom. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Sheila. Sheila Piper, Moore Piper, is an awesome artist herself. She is an awesome. I'm telling you, when I say she give me that, well, you gotta move when you hear her music. I'm telling you, and her genre of music is just, oh my God, it's amazing. So don't ever think that, don't count yourself out. Don't think that your talents are not big enough or that your contribution to music is not big. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. Everything you do counts. So I'm going to look again. All right, before we end, I'm going to do this because this song just dropped and I want y'all to see it. I'm going to go on and I'm going to play my new song, I Try. It's on here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to play this for y'all. If y'all have any questions, please drop them in there and we'll answer them real quick. But here we go.
How many times must I forgive and try to move on from the past? Deep down inside, I know I have to leave you because there'll never be a past. It seems to me like it's all a planned pattern. You hurt me, then you keep messing up, and then you run back to me because you know it's my weakness. I see your tears and hear your fears. I'd run back to you and drown in your tears. That you and I were never meant to be. It took some time for me to see that my love for you won't make you do right by me. So there's no mistaking, I won't be taking more from you. But deep down inside, I really know why. Yeah. I know that you're right. I try not to be right. But deep down inside, I really know why. So I try to erase it, but I know I got to face it. The fact that I can't love you no more. Kids, take your lying. I won't take your crying no more. Really meant it, then you wouldn't hurt me no more. So you thought I'd never leave you. So you kept right
Listen.